Next up, we have James Cook, the running back out of Georgia, who is a pretty fascinating player because everybody seems really high on this guy, and I believe that I see why in terms of a couple different attributes and areas that he really shines through. But for me, on my scale, the way I grade running backs, there are many areas we'll say that he falls short. A couple in particular that we'll get into pretty quickly here. So as you see, I have him as a fourth round guy, actually the end of the fourth round, closer to the fifth round than anything else. And then if you guys watched my big board video, you would have seen that I flagged James Cook's report, which for me indicates that this is my film grade based on his individual talents, but I do have some questions outside of the on the field stuff that would need to be answered before I feel confident enough to pick him. So we'll get into that question first, I suppose. James Cook is, despite all the good stuff surrounding his game, the bloodlines, the family heritage, the related to Dalvin, right? All that stuff is great and all. He didn't receive more than 12 carries in a game in his college career, which to me at least, if you're going to draft a running back on day 1, day 2, maybe even early day 3, I don't know how that can really be the case if you're expecting him to be in a high volume capacity. If you just want him to, get 8 carries a game and be the quick little guy that he is, I think that there's something there that you could work with. But how early do you take a guy like that that's going to have limited utility on your offense? That's a real question to me. And on the flip side, you could look at it the other way, right? He only had 5 career games with double-digit carries, all obviously less than 12. But does that mean he's super fresh and ready to hit the ground running in the league and have a good prolonged career here? I hear those those people who would say that, but to me there has to be some basis of volume in his game. And frankly, he's a small guy already, 5'10", 5'11", and 190 pounds. He was listed at at Georgia in college. Now he's listed at the combine came in 199, still very light for the position. So I don't even know if I want him taking a bunch of hits. And in that regard, I don't know how early I could take him. How early can I take a guy who's going to get the ball 8 times a game for me? That's a tough question to ask. However, the 8 times a game that he touches it are going to be rather electric, I would say, because in terms of just some of these grades that I gave him, 18 out of 20 on speed and acceleration, one of the highest marks I've given any running back over the past 2 years. Agility and change of direction ability, 8 out of 10. Again, very impressive. Just a super dynamic athlete. In that regard, I gave him a 4.5 out of 5 in terms of just the raw combine-derived athleticism score. And then I gave him an 8.25 on receiving ability, pass catching, out of the backfield. I thought he did a great job not only creating a little bit of separation with his quick feet and speed there, but then in terms of being able to catch it in transition from receiver to runner and then make plays on the ground after the fact. I thought he was very, very impressive there. And even if you wanted to line him up outside of the backfield, it'd be tough if somebody tried to press him, but he kind of has the speed to hopefully defeat that over the top, and then you'd make him pay that way. But no, I mean, he could run some drags and bubble screens and whatnot lined up out wide. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to that. However, again, I still don't know how many more touches he's going to get than 8, 9, 10 maybe max. And then I don't know. I don't necessarily know how he's going to handle the the end and result of those touches when he's getting hit by guys who are 30, 40 pounds heavier than him. I'm just curious how his body will hold up against the NFL workload. In terms of some of the categories I was lower on, I'll tell you guys right now, power. I gave him a 2.5 out of 10 on power, the lowest power grade I gave anybody in this draft class or last. I gave him a 4 out of 10 on balance. So how I differentiate between those two, power is your ability to put your shoulder down and extend a run. I definitely didn't think that was there. And then balance is your ability to absorb contact and play off of it. I thought he had slightly better balance, but at that point we're just kind of dealing with not a lot regardless. Even though maybe it's a little bit better, it's still not even good, I would say. And mainly I thought that was because of his speed put defenders in a tough predicament in terms of getting a good angle on him. The other really low score, pass blocking, excuse me. Kind of the opposite of pass catching, right? While he's out catching balls, I don't even know if I saw him take pass block reps. So it almost feels unfair to have him graded on that category because he is such a specialized player, in my opinion. I think Man, this is tough. But I would almost say, like, if you could use him, no matter where you draft him, but ideally, the later the better in this case. If he becomes like a more explosive J.D. McKissic, I think that would be good for your team. I really do. Just a change of pace back, expand upon a little bit of his role in college, and keep that overall volume down so that way you don't have to worry about some of the other issues regarding workload and how many hits can he actually handle. I don't know. I just think that there's something here in terms of being a home run hitter and being able to just 0 to 100 incredibly fast, catch the ball, run it 80-yard touchdown, right? Or pitch to the outside, get to the edge, sidelines, accelerate, just leave everybody in the dust. There's something to that, and there's something very valuable in that. But I don't think that if you're drafting him on, we're going to rule out day one, but on day two, I don't think even if you're drafting him on day two, you can only give him a couple carries a game. I think if you're spending a second or a third round pick on a back, you need to be looking at them as a 15 to 20 touch per game guy. And frankly, to me at least, James Cook is not that. So day 3 and beyond, there's something there, I think, in more of a rotational role. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't really do much between the tackles, in my opinion. That was almost all Zamir White's role, the other Georgia running back who actually have graded higher than him. But I think that James, if you're a team who maybe already has a good power back and somebody who can run and pound it between the tackles and put it in the end zone, and you literally just want somebody for those outside zone plays, the pitches, the maybe some reception work out of the backfield, sure, take a stab at James Cook, and I'm sure he'll have some electrifying plays because he certainly did at Georgia, and I expect that to persist. We'll have to see how often a basis it is on. So in that regard, if you guys enjoyed that video, that's really all I have for you guys in this one. There's not really a ton to talk about with him. Like I said, he's such a specialized prospect. It feels like almost every athleticism-based category is at the top, and then every more power and strength and durability-based category is more so towards the bottom of that list. And I think understandably so. Once you guys put on his tape, I think you will see the same. So that's all I really have for you guys in this one. I'm mic'd up. Now I'm mic'ing out. Peace, guys. I will see you next video. Hopefully you enjoyed.